So it's here for Mamuna Kwaba once again by a platform is so a Pinaxtv. We all know at Rencham course so Ewa Sports Stadium Yinyana Momba Omoko some cope ejuma ayeno at Rencham ne say Omoko yeno it's a nipa na abodom pem no omubufa so a brave be a gate no just say ubia pre-rim akweso hwa hwememu no ama womo asebio omote hweye anase sebio omu dwane na omu ni sa stamina ombetimi dia withhold ana edi ejinemu no omu hwe forma etiti omu so no yakohwe ne se bibiri ato na me no kase so far no, the number of casualties are the Ghana police together with one more monitor events, the state agencies of monitor events, say so far over 28 casualties in Guam and 6 deaths together with Bayer 4 so and a critical condition. But in this same conversation about John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, who PM and 7 military hospital, the ministers of gender and also the defense minister, Obia try said, now no, I didn't see how best can we solve this and how best can we support the families in this time of mourning. Adi Ababe Tujane say the free SHS policy no, and NDC phobia and NDC penny I started blaming this whole Elwak stampede no on. Now, you better put a series of video and you teach him exactly what is really going on because it's messed up and it's laced with this whole issue of stampeder. One minister in Sambia and Air Party say be at rent me see a blame me pa and can ever blame no squarely near to free SHS because free SHS from obeying a biako. Ama sisiano the national quota sebio anka wo se yetimi nya for adwuma anas university no ebi mutimi ko university ama bebre etini finti eni eti dasabre ne ama ekora so eno na aba enam so ama amafu bebre ekopimo elwaka atrenchim CAC enti yenkwahwe this particular video involved of a NDC, one of NDC spokesperson or chair say, yes, indeed. This whole issue of free SHS from NDC for best because Elwak in semi it is clearly because of free SHS. Don't take my word for it, Debbie. Don't take my word for it. This particular video, I question explains exactly what is really going on now. Ebimu eyem start here the SHS or more. At the end of the day, no ebimu party say, hey. Say pa na beko dia any at the end of the day you will be bika yen kwani enko tie nsema sa NDC person you or do two dwa o chemu say very soon the free SHS no was say ye hwe ne ka ho especially NDC for nipa or this answer mo tuja Nelson Kujegbe who is a finance and tax expert with the National Democratic Congress enko tin say mo do tuja ye baba ka tie for ye beto aso.
Let me first of all say that when issues of this nature happen, we need to identify the root cause of the problem. Now, we are only talking about what actually happened yesterday, where over thousands of people gathered at the Elwak Sports Stadium for the recruitment. Now, you will recall that we have had excess number of students from the free SHS in the system. Now, the requirement for the entry into the security services are not stringent like that of the universities and the academic institutions. And so those who are not able to make the needed grade to go to the university, they may prefer to go to these security services. Now, the chunk of people who they were recruiting or they were supposed to be taking care of yesterday were SHS graduates. That tells you that the free SHS that we have rolled out in the past, there is so much number in the system that every year, when these opportunities come, they want to take advantage of it. Which also means that when the program was rolled out, the end objective was not well thought through because there is no need sending people to school, then at the end of the day, they'll finish school and be home unemployed. So I personally think that the excess number of students that we churn out from the senior high schools as a result of the free SHS is a contributory factor to what we witnessed yesterday. Again, what also happened yesterday clearly shows that policy decisions, economic policy decisions, must be made based on data. Just as you rightly said, government alone cannot create jobs to employ everybody that finished school in this country. And so the chunk of the employment must be done by the private sector. However, the government is only the enabler, creating the proper environment for the private sector to flourish. And so I think that going forward, in order to avert this issue of unemployment in Ghana, our policy makers should make policy decisions based on well-informed economic and financial data.
Okay. Inti saa same way na saa experti editu ja said the free SHS no aba amasisi obi akọ. It is good, but then you share the number of people or more they finish and most of them can't get into university. Now, let's say NDC for creative free university, even if free university was created, say omukwa and now omuko university no move. Where are the jobs? You see, what we just watched was just the first half of the whole conversation about NDC cancelling or about to cancel the free SHS. Perhaps remodel it. It has happened before. Obeka say NDC for MPP for more power. No, who for time. No, they tried to make a year SHS. Now SHS 3 years. And NDC for a year during Mahama's time. And also be in 4 years. Sana yes, also be in 3 years. The whole back and forth. No, across with the whole education system. Now one person also didn't know about to sign some way more. He is also singing the tune of all of these things from the Deputy Forestry Commission CEO. And on the other to just say we need to look at this, and the National Democratic Congress all these while have noticed that there's a problem with this whole free SHS. Nipa wababe kasa the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission Elekem Kotoko. And I criticize say the way I implementing the free SHS policy without proper planning and not leading to infrastructure and welfare issues a be NDC no ewo your friend say ewa key. Yanko tie sansemu ono so odi two clearly you will see sir when you put the bits and pieces together it is going somewhere. It's a free SHS before NDC send out they will ace it. On be if you video where your babaka it for yebetuaso.
When we talk about the 24-hour economy, for instance, it is already also being rolled out. Yeah. Let me say that, for instance, the DVLA has begun doing that. I think their office in Medina now runs 24 hours. They intend to roll it out at every regional office. Yeah. So things, you see, that is why, if you recall, when the NPP rolled out the free SHS, many people, there was a huge outcry that it's a good policy. But how you were rolling it out was disastrous. The implementation. It was ill thought through. The implementation was very problematic. You should have rolled it out slowly. You could start from the very deprived schools, then in the rural areas, then in phases. Then, as I speak to you today, my ward is in one of the secondary schools. They are living with rodents. They are living with cockroaches. They are living in buildings that have not seen maintenance for over 8 years, not even painting. Their washrooms are in a mess. Even places for visitors, when you parents go to those schools to visit, mention them, call them category A, B, C. They are all in a mess. All because we rolled out free SHS, we didn't have any proper plan, and we were just rather paying people as ambassadors when we neglected the lecturers or the teachers, we neglected their conditions of service, we neglected the facilities, we didn't maintain them, and it is a whole mess all over. Very well. That, look, it is now taken, it's a whole mess. Right. It's a whole mess. Let us be very grateful that for the first time we have a finance minister who is not quoting the Bible anywhere, who is not clad in white, who is not soft-spoken.
Oh, but he's quoting the Bible about him.
Look, I told you earlier, where we do wrong and we use the Bible is what has put us where we are. I am a strong Christian and a believer in God, but do not come to brainwash me using God. For instance, when you wrong me, then you say, oh, Fama Nyame, oh, Facheno Nyame say, please stop that nonsense. God has given us all the functioning brain. So that is what Ken thought he was doing, and that's what he did. He did it so well. It is the reason why even the president believed that he can sway us in a way to say that I'll build for God a cathedral. He has calmed God, hasn't he? The president's calmed God. He's calmed God. And so we look, you will not have Atoforson probably even quote a verse in the Bible, but he believes God resides in him and he is doing what God expects him to do.
So that is it. You could see clearly, sir, the NDC people are also saying, sir, this whole free SHS policy, it is something that the way are rolling it out, and clearly, we need to sit back or go back to the drawing board and look at it again. Now, about the whole disaster, there's an update. You see, and your party say every family member, watching this year, and victims or victims or move or honor, 6 people no Sanko 46 no omu family ni obia ye be peki nipa baako ni national military ni because kame akoye breadwinner thing say obi a breadwinner and of course ko pay adwuma and ye ku ni se ni nefi wa ye mpe obi e bitim dia na sha nan at least nipa na obeboa into share herself say one family member of each airwork stampede victim will be recruited into Ghana Armed Forces. So that is what is coming from the Deputy Finance Minister Broja Jemfi. Here no, you could see clearly say Felix Ofosu-Kwakye actually came out to lay this down clearly as to how this whole thing is definitely going to work. Into share has here or say Minister of Interior announces okay, so this is after Broja Jemfi Bekasa no man sounds the new policy about it. This time around no the whole work thing different, now the whole immigration portal different. Or say, Minister for the Interior announces that the application portal for recruitment into police, prisons, fire, and immigration services opens on Monday. Drawing lessons from the Elwag tragedy, he has outlined the following measures to ensure a smooth selection process. There will be multiple screening centers in every region, with between 10 to 15 centers in Accra. In Kanena, the whole center will just be concentrated on one place like Elwak. No, see, having multiple centers in Accra. Again, so no screening center will accommodate more than 1,000 people at a time, with a target of 500 persons in the morning and another 500 in the afternoon. Any applicant who shows up in the morning when he or she has been scheduled for the afternoon will be instantly disqualified. Unlike first now, you better have Airwork as just one place of domain na obiabebano. You better have 15 centers. It be called Accra Sports Stadium. It be called Tema Sports Stadium. It be called various centers. And also, you better change the say every center biano at the time no, obenya almost 500 people per. You don't even get more than 1,000. And you're not paying the wow, Oba before your time, you better sackle. Which is so baby, and now ban no part, you better sackle. And aside from that, too, more parties to avoid overcrowding, the screening exercise will be done in things. The public service will complete its screening before another agency starts its screening, ensuring no congestion. The screening process will also be staggered to prevent simultaneous screenings at the same location. Okay, the apart says a police for the year mudia yebema date, army for year mudia date, air force year mudia date, obia date in kon yen boom na then the day akofa to renchem see yaba. And the big question people are asking is a ban is before at to renchem see and sana ya start say year drink. But then back to the free SHS thing no. Mino cases is here no update aba part say I think the can cast a month be party so NDC phobia started party say him blaming Elwak stampede disaster on free SHS no. MPP phobia started reacting. Osha or say he should tell his people to cancel free SHS to stop putting these SS numbers. It's simple. Into basically party says no say NDC for blaming free SHS and your more cancel it ni and clearly no there are lots of comments and what has here. You could see that many people are reacting to this whole issue. But before then, no, you can share this particular video of what the deputy minister and also the gender minister about this year. No, one more show. A person okay obiara wahwe ne nkwan biara no ne family members ye be fa omo family member ne baako ne ye dia hye the Ghana military emu ye hwe video ye baba aka e beto aso
mpanifo nyina de wo nyina na minister e dia atodwa no na anu ku ada yanka bi anhyem na ye nuanum nkuma omo pese omo ne ye ebeye adwuma na omo som oman Ghana yesi ye no ye nyina ni mosem eno nti mampani atu yen se ye mra ne abusua emenya nkita hodie na enhyehyeye bi e wo ho no so ye mfanto abusua ni na ye nuaba Presla ebi a obi a Nyankopɔn mfa ne kra ensie eyare hosem ye tie nyina ne se ebre kakrani eye soja kwan a ye fa so efa soja fo no ana Ghana fo nhye dante ho asem bi ho a ase katakata so nti obi a wo pepa kra so obenya kwan so obekɔ bi no onte ho asem mpo na ya fa nipa no so awie ti mampani Mahama bae no ye se ye makwan ye mo hu dawro obia owo pepa se obesom oman no na wahye soja atade ni bi no ye ma ne kwan na ye nhwe omonkrata mu dwuma bia obi betimi aye bia no ye nhwe na omomeye afi so ye nchichem na nkomantam mu nyina region bia ye mfa nipa ne bi ewo ho nti eba central region say ya Cape Coast omo eye dwumadie ewo ho mantam bia eye bi nanso esanse nkran eye kro kase mu nti no nipa ne pi pese omo ebeye wo ho na akwakofa atoye nchemwe ede aba eno no emma ade a yepese ye na Ghana fo nyina nya akwanya no sebi ye ntwam yepese mu da ho na obi a wo pepa pese okosoja no otimi enya akwanya no eye na emom de esi ye nti ama enkran de no a ye no mampani ama ya twen asen se de be ya ye de enhyehyeye beto akwan mu na bibia asa ensan enkosi bio ti mampani asoma ye se yemra na yemfa metum anim se aban ebegina busua chi na enhyehyeye bia ewo ho a ewo se ye na ye de sie ye de hye no ya hwe na ya ye toso mienu nso mampani se yemfa nto abusua anim se omo a omo ho kan ya sebi na omo pese nko omo hye soja atade a omo afiri mu no abusua ne mpe omo anan sini na yemfa omo enko soja no mampani na ama me kwan se yemfa nto abusua nani nti eno yebema aban krachepani o wa ha ene mpanifo a ewo region num ene mo nyankita hodie na abusua na ginam se wonua bi wo ho se abusua beyi obi a obetimi akosoja no na wasi na man eno so ye de ho hyehye ebeto eho afedi etwato okra ye arekyekere ene ye de bema mo se ye nua ba no sabi kasa tintin bia ni wa betimi asan de na ba ye agidifo ede ebeje edi se nye nyame pe ena esi nti nyame nso omwa no nchichiri ye nyina ayewre na ommo ye ne ayete asem so eho ban na ntutuye bia ewo ho no ye nhwe na ye nye ti ye beda mu nyina mo ase
Ashafo inti sansem no ena yedi tu dwa chese asem de. But then back to the free SHS issue no, we any nsema ekoso. Here share some reactions. See we are near the breaking news about Parkwesi in the Osha. We Fibuache, the gentleman said we will not introduce a bogus exaggerated policy like free SHS. The 24-hour economy is the new game changer, not a populist gimmick. So basically, on page says he be cancel free SHS and cancel we fee. Zoid. Opacha said Ghanaians don't like hearing the truth. Not everyone needs to be in free SHS program. There should be more vocational schools. This has been the same problem with uni graduates. There aren't enough jobs to absorb the masses finishing school. Free SHS just exposed it more. And away fee Solomon Zandi Tamathi. Or see some of the stupid things we read as opinions on this app is just ludicrous. Makes you appreciate free SHS more. Charlie, don't always have to share your opinion. Bro says keep it to yourself. Now Jimmy cry dodo. So clearly, many people are divided. Say be cancel free SHS for what purpose? Even the free SHS say will issue scrana. The free SHS does the benefit outweighs the risk. Benefits more than the risks, and these are issues at the end of the day, a cost amount will be bread the air casa. So the whole free SHS thing the for our hopper. There are concerns as to what should go on and what should be done, because at the end of the day, amount will be brave. So far, can edit more as air casa. The question is, free SHS needs to be asked, and because you're sharing your own baby, you see an information about it to say most of them are SHS graduates. They are SHS graduates. Say beautiful, any body soon area you see we need them. Nti yakane saa na ene na say why you this guy you sha we need the obitima ko military ene me de saa bu na wakose yemfa no wati ase but munim se sabio ade no so protocol ye be fa no e be che eno enenam so at the end of the day saa torrentemi yi akoso amafo bebre blame say if there's anything we have to blame on it now no and I say people will see blame na yen fan to free SHS. So let us know what you think, and Sunny Ebeko the next update on this particular issue, because honestly saa tragedy na see any day it for idea. No one should even wish this on the worst enemy. Clearly there are issues with this whole free SHS. So you need indemnity. Share the air cost. So we are also monitoring the thing of events, and at the end of the day, 24 kinds in Yechi and the Chale. Pictures of one in your normal show. I started to say out. The big question we are asking ourselves is, how did this happen? What you say, and clearly, as also exposed the fact say there isn't enough jobs here in this country, and then issues at the end of the day air cost. So it's therefore winning sema air cost. Now yen so. John Dramani Mahama is in the news, and some people are happy, others are not happy. Which video was screen so you see Dr. Pakwesi Indum on the chairman of the Group Indum company. Now they had a bank which is the Group Indum Bank. What you say? GN Bank. Now sa GN Bank it has been consolidated. There are other banks one ababe CBG Consolidated Bank Ghana. Personally, na me say do Unibank, and also you consolidating na bepe me minim the Unibank aye. Na GM Bank on uponi the end you consolidating no ya ntwempo ene say gu no egu line eje license no. Na Pakwesi Indum aba out aba be kase no. Kwan akufado efa so gu no. It was more of a political witch hunt. What I say, ama wakasa bebre. Na before last year's elections, no, okuko hu Excellency John Dramani Mahama ne kasa say omo babaka, omo modia no omo na GM Bank inti membra bank. Because GM Bank was creating employment. So we all thought this year said something was going to happen, because GM Bank, not news and not air by a positive say Mahama was going to restore their alliances, was going to make sure say they were going to come back. But then Menuka say information about the kind says GM Bank no yes Excellency John Dramani Mahama omushe mono on it, the Minister of Finance, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mushe Mono, Kamiako is a GM Bank, no, and yadia, a best answer, Ababium. Now, you bet you decide you bet two screens. So, me say, a idea air trending on social media. This whole news about the GM Bank, no, clearly, no, you will see, say, GM Bank, no, a idea. Na Mahama pese or ye be but clearly, no, looking at the state of affairs and how an anima con clearly no to say GM Bank and yadia a bit my heading. Asanso abebio inti yebehwe news a ayebobasia e party say GM Bank, I'm very sorry, Mahama omuhwe mu no, they are saying say because of the losses and because of how anema koye no enya ade a yebitime bi because omuhwe mu to say they be say the previous government no omo di omo lines no omo close bank na omo dika inti yenhwe ha say yenhwe the whole screen so say breaking news, government fails to restore and recapitalize GM Bank despite its promise to do so some months ago. Again, also this bank, according to reports, collapsed due to significant capital deficits, poor corporate governance, and lending to related parties. Sorry. So that is in Sema Aba. You see, I know, yeah, I need to say, Betty Asemde. Back we see Indum. The bank no will have been coming back to light. No, it is not so. And from what it is and what is on the screens, no, any nearma air course on social media, no, we are not going to see GM Bank come back in such a way. We are learning say we see Indum too. He is very much saddened because the last hope as at this point, no, John Mahama. John Mahama, which is a GM Bank is going to forever be a name which will remain in the dust of a year. One of the dust of the dust of Ghana's history in terms of a year, one of the financial companies a buyer ancha and also a fedia but then in other news, no, it's here for Minoka say, no, Mahama, administration, they are defending a year at force in recent budget of Kumbiki. Since recently, a year. This whole budget they are justifying said the government is doing everything right because mobile they are doing a whole lot of things right to the extent say Mahama and the promises to cut down ministers and cut down costs no he is doing this that ama Minoka say almost spokesperson back who what is really going on and the way for it for yes someone share the video involved here ye babaka ye beto aso
John Dramani Mahama aya odi aboga na yesika ho bra aya bosha wo share yesa oba or the system ministers ene be adwuma o ka asam no na nipa dodo no afri se eya rodo rada o ka de agitumi keke babosumi duba akomuni no yewra John Dramani Mahama system ministers no de aya adwuma na nuanom na nado the first time or the ministers 125 ene aya adwuma Yewra Mahama at the system ministers. Yewra Mahama by cutting down ministers by 65 no. And we anom afibia wa save Ghana sika 411.7 million Ghana cedis. Afio enfie na ni bekwa awie no. Na Yewra John Dramani Mahama just by cutting down ministers by 65 no. Afi enfie na nkwa awie no. Now we save Ghana sika 1.6 billion Ghana cedis. Sika e sika etimi ya swami interchange ai wokumase. Sika e sika etimi wami etimi de sika jetia market phase 2. Sika e sika etimi si hospitals akese ahodo miensa. Etimi si schools akese la hospital aye nanado ne Dr. Baumia bugu yo mansie no. Sika etimi se anuanom metumbre afemi bekire usie me bekire wo ba bia Yewra John Dramani Mahama asevu oman sika by just going with system ministers and not 125 ministers. Ohese obi a minister averagely bosumi bia yentua ne kakra ebetua ne ka 20,000 in the 20,000 no what the time say 12 afibia na yenka 240,000 Ghana cedis. In the 240,000 Ghana cedis, no. Minister 65 no Yewra Mahama cut it down all the time say and no quite 14.9 million. Oh, they are not time say enfie na just minister salary nko anipa 65 59 million. And Yewra Mahama asevu Ghana. E do have a manifesto mo na Yewra Mahama kase oba obe bo public person no ban na so obe cut wastage no. This is what he meant. Ebio so be a minister ye talk cars mienu ene de ma no esa to fuel car ne say ya na yesa eye de ema no car no ye to Land Cruiser baako ne ato eye saloon car baako ehu fuel ene ese ya ya ye be ye no afibia no ye bo ho ka between 1.5 million to 2 million Ejiyewura Mahama by cutting down ministers by 65 no was save Ghana cars ayebeto nkwan ka yebeto ama 65 ministers no edi fuel agum ese ya yebe no emfie nan no was save o my Ghana 97.5 million Ghana cedis aka kra bi na 100 million say sika yesika ene me kasa ne kwa wie ye no metira mo ba bi Ayewura John Dramani Mahama de akwa ode eboa ebio so obi ye minister ye high dan ema no ye ne light ni nsuo no ne na ade nyina no oman no na ye de ebo ho ka enti nipa 65 no a Ayewura Mahama asevu oman no a wanyi omo no senko yi omo a afibia nke ye bebo omo ho ka edan a ye be han ama omo light omo nsuo ne ho nsensem no between 15 million to 21 million dollars enti by cutting down ministers by 65 no Ayewura Mahama save on my Ghana in 4 years 21 million Ghana cedis accommodation kwano no ebio uyi obi sesebi onkoye adwuma na so onkoye o man so afo a be man special assistant o be man PA o be man driver security guards saafo no 65 no ka afibia na mfie na ya ma omo ho kakra no na nye $15 million okay kas afibia so ye minister wo betu kwan utu kwan so ahontimi nkotena de ese bi baabi obi atena ubetena business class ana ubetena first class se uye minister na afibia utu kwan enan pekra na eka nka oman ne bebo nipa 65 a Ayewura Mahama kate ye na ye 30 million Ghana cedis and Ayewura John Dramani Mahama by cutting down ministers from 125 to 60 no was save Ghana 30 million Ghana cedis in travels and per diem nkwa enka ye de bema omo enu nka ye wi ani anwie yo saafuo yi so masuma wie nu a omo nkofie ne wo bibia ye saafre ne S Gracia ne ye twa ne botwo asade aye dey ama omo Ayewura Mahama by cutting down ministers from 125 to 60 no S Gracia nkwa wa save Ghana 411 million Ghana cedis and you know no and okay kabo mu a ekowie 1.6 billion and Ayewura Mahama bra o bon to a also be protect public purse no na ye no kretro do
So that was in Sema a course. So now, so it's here for many who say, Papaya and the picture was screen so no, he's dead. May he so rest in perfect peace. But then he's strengthened. It did a different year, somewhere abuaje. Unim no, yes, because helicopter now no go from August seat, no home. Once in Yankopon fan the crane see ye, but then Papaya any wait, you know. In same bia start eboba remember say papa yi or NDC ni a Nyankopon fa ne krensi yes helicopter no kan wa ohwe ne kwa na owu ye no na afi ye kwa so memu no na afi de ye be pese ye be identify no ehu be hia se be identify no pese na se bi body na tete ni ti nam ha ne san ni ti ni kra be hu kra wa shit beyond recognition. Enuti no ye fa samples ni ye say okay ye de ko South Africa ni a test ni hu so okay assume si we ankasa ena ewo helicopter nim e ba ne sa no for us to know if DNA samples na ye de ko no ye correct a ye de be match ana se ye de be test okay ni DNA sample ni ye de test we no e wo se use nipa no ni bibi na ni bibi e be use e wo se use ne mba anase ni relative na nipa ni DNA na ne fa pa anane ne befa ne ba eho ena impenifo be mu ne so okay woman we na waware na onenete oma wo ba intine ba no ye fa ne mbra ne yenko ye DNA ne entimus aboaje and a can play helicopter crash no na say na be at the end of the day you bet me officially you bet me the ruling say we death certificate and also bibi or what buying was or ma as compensation be man the busuan for it for your koye na ekofa mami ne ba or share with someone boaje mami say they be ne ba ba ne de be that on allow Emma your friend is saying yen kwa any DNA results reasons we don't know and no ene nam so emi busuafo ne car said they be time as someone boaje ti ase no na o complain say woman na on ne te no ye woman we wa no ne te no believe say eba no na wo no ne de in fact our ni kura guye Emma before elections no omko kan ma sam be boom na echi no woman no tu kwan ko US win elections no sam back into woman say bi obi a amafo pa say on papa ne sa in same p but then in some way cause say okay we cheat our papa no so no na MPP Vincent Asafwa didn't be PM because a bra someone boaje ti ase no okay someone boaje part say ofifie time na on girl net no ofifie say na o sit downstairs akọ but all kono ohun say ka bi approaches na sa aka na approach no MPP MPB number 1 okoye all ba no no hu say sa MPP MP no ne ka na ye den ekọ extra investigation who says I MPP MP on ne yire satana ne girl on ne yire no and on ne girl no mu bibi and chebia na girl ni de FAFu on say Samuel de e na Samuel je be abofra ne bai no hwe abofra ne nima ene papa na oye MPP MP no oni ni din say na panistar say oye the all doubt but eba be mu no omo ebusuafo no kan no omo wareye se na be kata ade no so no problem na DNA sensem ni be mu no na amafo ebusuafo ne party say papa ne ti asekwa no doubt say abofra ne nye ne de na say si a woman no price on fa ne ba ne mba ma yen ko DNA no enya confirm say abofra no onye papa ne de in the first place eno nam so ebusuafo no ene eye Samu Aboaje ne yere kunk digidi na ye fa abofra ne picture into screen so we are near called Vincent Asafwa. Or no necessarily in some way course no he's been caught in the mix, okay? As no or also or the statement about or courts. Yeah, share this is Samu Aboaje on the wall on the left side of the screen. Woman na ye can answer no on any banner. Samu Aboaje ne alleged daughter no on the wall on the side of the screen. Only kwa any DNA ma menese on tiasie. No problem. Far from that, no nipa ni di PM so ye nipa oye MPA one Samu Aboaje ni kunu ekodaye ne yire ekodaye yes onie aye Vincent Asafwa na o hwe aye Vincent Asafwa ne aye abofra na ene omu nyina kokko pepepepepepepepepepepe ye fan two side by side so you know exactly what we are talking about. Inti the two side by side hwe ni ye papa in nim kokoko abofra nim kokoko wan so e popular MP a okuma se yes or no a ho na Vincent Asafwa be ka e dia ba betuja se enyo no a na amafo bi na se chi on person mo ye den omu sen din enu ti no ono so wo mu anomo target ni se ye ono a omu sen din no oh wakoye lawyer no se me ye lawyer pa na e be se mi din pa de debi da quickly we run into court ene e be yanka DNA results no agi so mu ye mi bi because mi nimu manu o baby a mi share ne da na sisi ane de obi ba abechiche me kon ho intino or the press release about yen hwe de wo screens no so say my lawyer has served a formal notice demanding the retraction and apology of defamatory statement published about me by Deputy CEO for Petroleum Hub Developmental Corporation and 3 others. Reputation is a priceless asset built through the years of service, sacrifice and integrity. Inti Vincent Asafwa party enkofo bi sheki no because Vincent Asafwa ono di ono obeji oyiri sisi be mo kokoko si no se de bi enye ono a ukokuma se bicycle tie crow ni bi enu ti wo mo ne nam eka sansem no odwage omu nyina akokot enu ti no ye be hwe eye insema ne lawyers no omo de ba ye ni evidi ni ye hwe insema ono so eka insema ono so eka in fact menu ka se isi akra edin fofra ba be toja no ebi mo point sticker se sticker but dem hwe sticker enim na me hwe se bi abofra na ye ka na asem ni a de nima I can tell you say clearly no but then clearly no ye press release no and two screens no so na ye so this is the press release ye ba two screens so from Vincent Asafua the lawyers because baby assembly do no it didn't say ye ya it's ye read if you could law. Assist demand for apology and retraction of false and defamatory statement published about Vincent Eko Asafua SQ. Omutu also say I act as lawyer for Honorable Vincent Eko Asafua, hereinafter called my client and hold his firm instructions to write to you in respect to the above subject matter. My client's attention has been drawn to reckless defamatory statement published by you on social media about him. In the said post, you sought to tarnish my client's hard-earned reputation through false narratives intended to cause disaffection against him from the general public by casting innuendos and making false publications to the effect that my client has fathered a child with a married woman whose husband was involved in the tragic helicopter crash that I would, out of respect for his memory, rather not recount. It is as a follower say part say in some man for a perpetuity say on obi akoda na obi a wewu say ya ne ba on ne ya wo no sisi ese ne ba na nya ne dia na point Vincent Asafua ese da bi onim ho hwe na onu kro mpesa we boss asem no so no aboni din because the to papa ya oto say my client states that but for the nationwide telecast of this tragic incident which shook the nation, the said woman and her late husband were unknown to him. My client states categorically that he has never personally encountered the said woman. We hasten to observe that apart from your publications, which is clearly malicious, having been made without regard to truth and decency, it was also made without regard to the sensitivities and respectability that ought to be accorded the family of the deceased who are undoubtedly going through turbulent times. And our party says, "See, and one more mokeka sansem no, o man dwene ebusuano ho, o man dwen sena die we ya, obi tihye." Ati ase obeti se oba o helicopter we fi swabi abehwefo mebu amasi akra samu aboaje se ne maame otis asbo nya stroke a sisi ano da wa ontimi nya hwe ye to aso e wa hasi see my client is highly aghast about your conduct and will use all lawful means to insulate his hard-earned reputation from such false defamatory publications. My client by this letter gives you 12 hours ultimatum to retract the defamatory statement and render an unqualified apology to him on the same platform with equal prominence employed in the publication of a prior defamatory statement. Failing the above, I hold my client's unequivocal instructions to commence legal proceedings against you for a reckless publication of defamatory statement against him. Note that should you provoke such needless recourse to litigation, we shall recover from you punitive and compensatory damages and costs of litigation among others. Nti si ane pa se wo mo a o makoka sensem we a se o mo pa acho mo yo imagine so o mo pa acho wa no pese yin yisu mbran be yisu mbran pepepepepe na mbran so yisu a be make sure say be Jessica pudu efi nchen a boni fi ni punitive damages ni atwe aso pa e do be sem kra na e do be tujele e do be tujo a wo sha letter no it was signed by Stephen Insia Opoku SQ ono ye senior associate e wo Kolindu as law. So that is the whole issue at Aircourse. So currently, you could see clearly say the whole issue about the whole issue blaming Vincent Asafua or no, and I said be oni obi akwada. Anas or no, and ene mami ye kana semi ani kunewu ayaya helicopter crash akwada no or see enye no cre. Emma sisi and menuka say no we push the whole issue to court because in 24 can say it is say the when publication say you take so many years to build your reputation na say you can see Jimmy Phoebe at one day abe say o hard earned reputation clearly no idea course odwen ho kra onti ase. So this is exactly what is really going on. Clearly, you know, idea I cross so accept you but at the end of the day, you know, I was Vincent ebe clearly din because in some way by personally me who ni din pa. I was asking myself, papa, can me buni pa? I don't know bit my bisa. As you see, I'm not able to just say in some na year can about her no about sorry him no onim ho hwe en kofo bi na se bi omuta echi a omu make sure say ombe say ni din for no apparent reason is a odwen ho kra ontiase. So that is exactly what is really going on for this is the issue at hand. You be make sure say be follow all of these issues now at the end of the day, you know, updates be a wah I was say ye ma for any for no yet be mama because these issues and and it's really getting out of hand. So far, no, we are all looking for the potential father of the child because if you for no papa no nia the late and someone but ni party say mamene de o ye cheat. In fact, interview bi kura mi tie no also ye bonsam. Hey, dear Marcos will crum how. Anyways, Edibesi has see. Yan twaso. Now, as for ya twaso no, a babai wa we ya owo school so no edian e de friend no Matilda. Matilda. Na Matilda bonne ben na we di Matilda dear na waye. In fact, the full name Matilda Meadows. Ana Medose. Forgive me if I don't find if I can't mention the name but Matilda Meadows and not Midos. Now, Menoka saying she's one of the victims. Her helicopter and I know Elwak Sports Stadium at Renton Sia, ya 1919 Crofo say be more after movie, you know. Give me a bay or cajon now or papa ababe casa. In fact, ya so back crowd say daddy mato military forms na me toy, you know, yes, membra. For your friends screening. Odin paibo airtime it is me bay or be rim no abesa me busia shebre. Sell ban or corner on baby. Sell pan or corner for on baby. Number panel edin simpi about tuja. I just say ye pa. It's for if I want to share the video involved. In fact, Mesro say, oh sha. Enya kakra because pan pa shop papi ni mu osua. In fact, it's so numukra. On tijaya utimu say ye pa. What I say? In some way, of course, so at the end of the day, we all need to learn from this. See, well, share in some of the tuja and also the way forward that John Dramani Mahama is working 24 hours to make sure. Say, one more show me this year. Can we do something about this? Because this was a preventable death. And you said you. And can one say a back cry in the first place? At the end of the day, you share the video involved. Your bar, you better also.
Say, 4 o'clock. And then me ba. So call a we know Mukoyana. Ian, I say, I'm matching. Until you all corner or that only mamma da or Mudam wanting. The above phone and book of them say, I could soon call him Mamisu or Cordida. Let me see you, go die. Take me down one, Minya Kobe. Simpacho, Matilda Papeni is I. I say, Matilda Akulasi, ewa. Na, waya Nabunas, Ednatum. Na, Nuhumis, or for some oxygen, as in Nuhumis. Timber is here. And to a customer, me, my dream say, for 1 night for you. To me, pay for the man, but no one man, and the son of my nasa friend in the mammy. And then the mammy say, Yanko. Until Pacuna or Denima Omar Ocon, and friend fools to say, the Martinu, now what you son and also one take here. Now, for 1 night for my mammy. On America, that only 37 days. And your quambia, young coy, who you buy, a besaba. Until your pan also on the Sojani. Now, also the banner bow, and no other whom we bow from an ordinary 2 ambulances. The fran or fair, same on an pet dropping, and that is channel then the banner and yet. In Nantia, and Yakabia, your call Methodist on your conya, Texas. On fire uncle, all my was there been to barrier no vocal. Your call barrier, I track 1. Your quay go like it were. The car by 5 and the buy. Can the bands last one 18 years. The fran upon a fret. The papa nka den so on dey o so yeri na so no onye dwuma ho nti ba na me friend kura me sankan na so ba me mo ja say me ko emergency hall ana say mortuary me say mortuary so be ti me ko do no me friend no so one day so ka tell me want to dey me ko bon dey anka obi emergency ho na be ben banda na nye me ko me fa so ja fon so manu rem ifa so ja fon musi manu rem afi o makoma ya baby say ye international na ye ntwe na so we ba test ba from be 1 hour time on be free ye titi on ma bo be 9 mo ana omo ba e ana omo di ni bag a odi ko e ni picture ba ko mo ni ma mo di ba ya na o sa ko inside ko fa ni phone ba to odi bag ni sheni ma men sa na ma me di sa room so o say ni ma na so ni ma na aso mu ana ma be dey say man me say the bag guy yin say me bewu hona ni ma me a o panic na mo so num to mo so num no mo say o mo nja ntoro bibia anya no na o mo emergency ntino very so be 1 hour time ba ko hu ti o ho ma be level ma no mo dey ko ba bia go fa na pra mo dey o magu bebre e di ko e ko no mo kuma ya kunya wo ni nchense John man ya wa ti man na ofre me yeso je na ofre me no ofre me na of press me bomodi a mfa by force one side ufa so na ma so mu ufa so ma so mu enem amu so mu aduma na mu ye akohwe na makobo ti ifi ehonu ma mu frɛ se me na so ya ne frɛ me ka se me ba no wewu ti on da me ba newu to wona me bo so nya ma ne na me ba wu na on kan kyerɛ me amu so obo me ba newu nti honu ma me phone ni frɛ me bra pani ka kyerɛ se ne esim me the phone to have so just have phone na me say me your country teni around say obi amafu na so nim sa no pese ko fo bet say se ni pe enti me ba na wu na omabo amane no omo bisa sa won wu ye na hwan na bo amane enti na omo for so say omo pe ni pa na oye we me so ma mo man tonga me kan so bi na phone so anyway etiti hono ma no mbae ono maji ni picture no eko chinchin ya mo ko chia no mbae eba sa na mo je ko tra baby yo on baji ni the picture no e di ko e omo ko ya ba ya omo mbae say ni didi say ibo ni di so mateda me do say no mo chwa tie ne pa be 6 mo di egu baby yo hono ma na mpanyfo no bae mpanyfo bi bae mo be jira mpanyfo be jira Mujina ha ye honu ka no mama po mba yare fo no ho mu fi no mu ko e ba nti omu ko wie no na pan ba ko ba ya obaka chese opese ye ko wo obi akọ hwene nipa ye di omachi ye nipa ses ne di omachi nti ye ko ra wo first one no na omu ka chese ye kita ni picture na obi afa ni ba ni picture the picture of my phone so na me di chrom to mo koya no mba na mo se enye hanti ye nkwa different na so ho no mi hu se ye wo because mi hu se e kurum ye fro
So this is some of the events of course so or county kraya or se matida medosi. That is the name and I'm finding hard to pronounce her. She's dead all because of negligence. Exercise here course you in tibida say baby bisa na at the end of the day kofobebu stampede. In fact, Yankopon fa lady in the crane say she was a very wonderful lady. She went to see for opportunity. Bukushia na queen she Yankopon fa the crane say na family no so no. Our masho modisha no. Yes, we know how painful this whole thing can be, but then who are we as people to judge? Nipa de send ye baby as aso yin na yebeko. Yankopon fa ne kra NCA. Now, you're moving on. Therefore, you're moving on to other issues. Papaya, who the picture and the video or screen so or a very popular man of God. Or a very, very popular. In fact, to Botswana, Anka or a bishop or a reverend or for and I said Reverend Opambo. Now, papa, my following the case, snatch it. A dear friend, a guy, we go to go see Mujadigo. but popular name no me meet my boy Mojadigo. Na Mojadigo no oye shop for ewo Botswana. We did 35 years. But now no ye kwache no and ye party say obi ba ne nchen say ompom pae ma no na opejuma. And software say I was so ye spiritual cleansing. So spiritual and as a sexual cleansing. Which means say bibi one who enya so sadness sexual way. It was so ye no cleanse or cleansing no. And papa any lady no friend if you beti na papa any software no force any software force any obana that we repeat no. And no think koda sorry na or no but to the Facebook page asura no ye ni ade members no fa on your mother fa on your matrimp information ne ba ya lead ni ko report rape ni e be che no and information e ba pay no juma odi no me no kase ya che no nti after all the back and forth no ya sentence no ya court finding guilty prophet Mojadigo court finding guilty ama ya sentencing no to 20 years in prison, which is oko dem 20 years or eba no 35 years, all because oko one oba we did 20 years oko to no mana ebro oba ne ba ne chen say onye the ombom pie man no page ba ye will series of videos of the court proceedings ye be hwe ebra ye che no ni ade na ye nkohwe ye ba ye beto aso. So that was the video question. In fact, you can share this particular video again because it is prudence how near the chains no atoto no na ho ene ne someone ya sentence to 20 years say one a sorry members ada ni nyane say also yes sexual cleansing. Therefore, some way and the course. So people are jubilating in regards to this news. And papa, because ye shed sa niamana a kosupa even in Ghana has a koso. Emma then the doko can near ye quotation krakama say touch not my anointing. I say you are so full binom a ye niama. It just say enfata e wukruma. Na ye was of sem in so from sem so dear. Na yembo shi ni enko Bishop Obinim. Na sorry because me no can say be akoso. Bishop Obinim. Edin sembi aba betuja say Ghana has say asofo bebre ye accuse you almost fake miracles. But no pe na ye sofo miracles are ekotri ekọ breman. Some miracles ni nyina no ono pe na oye miracles are own fake. In fact, on the same bebre etuja this one the first time a Bishop Daniel Obinim okasa enibile so amount for said this man said this time around he wants to come back. Remember say after the unsuccessful fight with Kine Japan, I just say ye who send the church members be konya de no still na papa no as untimi sorry but no Kamiako say is gaining his momentum back bit by bit. Enko tin sama Bishop Daniel Obinim edi tujo ba ye beto aso.
Ghana, the whole Ghana. You can't so for 1, 2, 3 or me powerful. Oh yes. And powerful. I saw for Boka. I saw for the Boka. I saw for the Boka. The whole Ghana. Debio. Somebody menya so for be power Ghana ha. I will bet you maybe na no social media say I'm powerful than. Angel obinim.
Ebi ni hɔ. Na ɔmo aka. Ɔmo aka.
Carry power.
Ɔmo so papa deɛ. Papa.
Me wiase a me bae. Me nye fake miracle da.
Debbie.
Never.
Uni mu ye.
Say yes, fake miracle, fake healing.
Debbie.
Fake.
Ebi si da.
Me nka Yesu mpɔ nka nkonkono ɛnka Nyankopɔn kwa na ka se bia me kwakɔ sɛ bɔ ne fakyɛ. Me kenya me nkonkono ho ntam.
Yes.
Sɛ ma ye fake miracle, fake healing one pɛ. Ɛwurade nye ma atom nyina firi sɛ no ngu ma asɔre.
Yes.
Ɛwurade ngu ma asɔre ma no ka nipa 10. Fake miracle, fake healing.
Fake healing.
Yeah, one crowd.
Uni mu no krompo.
Sami no obi hyehyɛ ho.
For so yare.
Say your want to say your left for. You want to say what problem? Wow.
I don't need one yes.
Let me try waka.
Yes.
Yes.
The one you are doing yes.
Sanity.
Giant friend, no one friend home.
They are doing the honor.
Share.
Yes.
Who could have told me?
And the cheers kaye. And you hey. Already I'm
What year Juma was a banser?
I'm not get to the pan. Hey. I saw for the cracker.
I saw for 1, 2, 3. Powerful men of God.
Hey.
What do you mean you will be in the movie?
Debbie.
Share.
Number one.
About prophecy.
Yes.
A year Juma.
Authentic.
JJ.
What you are doing now,
Yes.
About preaching.
What they are doing.
Any teachings.
What they are doing.
Who decode these scriptures?
What kind mysteries?
What you are doing now, Chairman.
What they are show.
Say you come mind in my BBC.
And no crowd you cook.
But Kweku. I told him that will be catching Abulusu ni say. Wakwa Abulusu asoli ane nye ya baby fair. Baby cheha.
Baby.
Me tibia na me ho me te. Me se wo be kwa sa be si wachi aba ha se
Yes.
And after the matter papa obi nim preaching na se. Em say God na nka satam ono apeso wo ye no.
No why yeah.
Em say no opeso enti ba minya because say nye no pa chi na be chi ni pa. E wade ewe ho. Me se Ghana sofo. Wo pe 1 2 me nka tre kura 1 2
1 2 pe.
Wo wa bi sade no obeyama wo ntentema me se fa me ka ho.
Yes.
1
2.
Asofo 2.
Yes.
Me nka 3
2. 1 2.
Asofo 2.
Yes.
Fa ba ko ka me ho. Asofo e wo Ghana wo se wo mo ye powerful mbeti mama wo bi sade na ba sharp sharp. Me se pe ba ko ka me ho.
Yes.
Sa 1 2 no enyimi mfrim.
Davida.
Because we be free mu a me se wo da wa na nyame wo nkonko no abeso waso atwe waso se wo ya ya so de atia wo nkonko no tie de obi ni mu kan na ye mie wani fa wo bi ni mu ho adom a ya sesade ama no.
Yes.
Adom
Get the more adom. Get the more adom. Too much, papa.
ejagulaja be se obi ni mu onye.
Hey, utuampa. Be kanokore.
Wasa obi ni mu onye wotu ampa.
Utuampa.
Wanya mo hwe ni ye wotu ampa.
Sara ba ku bi so kan. Hey, obi simi chance na no so mo hwe no.
He. Me se me ba ho. Madana nso.
Unai.
Me ba ho.
Yes.
Catch it or bear was Jesus Christ on the one by the right place. Catch it.
Jesus Christ on the one by the right place.